So motherfuckers, hello. Today I'm with the comment of the third round of the Rapid World Champion under 20. For this moment, I have 3 points of 4, not bad. So if I won this game, I would be in a good position of the tournament. But I lost the game. So let's analyze. My opponents came with the Alekhine variation. I prepared the game a little bit for 5 minutes between rounds, and I saw that he plays this line. Okay, 995. I like the 4 pounds variation. I have no victories for the moment with this line, but I have 2 draws and this loss. But okay, yeah, I like the line. F4, G6, knight C3, and okay, he chose the fianchetto variation. That's the main line was the takes, knight C6 or E6. Then, for example, here bishop E3, bishop F5, knight C3, E6. Bishop e2, bishop e7, knight f3, castle f6, takes. Queen d2, that's the main line. But d6 was tricky too. Of course, the machine in all this position is going to say like good advantage for white, but this is tricky line. d6, knight c3, bishop d7, bishop e3. Uh, Good advice always to play the Alekhine. The Alekhine develop first the queen side was always the best development. Develop first the queen side. 93 bishop b3 used to be the best move. The best move order. Okay, and now black plays a typical move, but could be a little bit strange with bishop b6. Here, white have some option. d5, b3, rook c1. For example, Topalov have one game with b3. Magnus Du plays rook c1 in a rapid game too. But d5 was the main move. And now black returns to c5. To c8, sorry. The idea of black has lost 2 tempos, bishop b6 and bishop c8. But the principal idea was open the g7 bishop. Knight f3, sword castle, bishop b2, c6, sword castle. Here my opponent chose the move bishop g4 that I prepared. Alexei have one game with white in that position, and her opponent plays take, and bishop d4. The idea of black, of course, is attack the white center. And now queen d2 was good too. For example, we have this interesting line who was playing in an email game. But zero choose d6 is good too. Bishop takes. And now until here, Zero was playing perfectly, but he plays rook f1, who is a strange move. The rook was better on d1. But okay, let's analyze my game. Bishop d4, and here I prepared the great move e6. E6 a banger, and now I'm close to be winning here. The idea is if black takes on e6, would be the most normal reaction. Here white have knight g5, knight c4, because I cannot take on c4 because the queen is hanging, and I cannot take on d4 because knight takes c3. Bishop c1, great move, going back. Now I'm threatening here, bishop f5 is possible score, but that's the main line. Bishop takes e2, queen takes, he takes d5. Now black have 3 pawns up. Black have the 8 pawn and white only have 5. Here I have queen e6 and queen h7 attacking the a7 pawn, removes and knight c6. And here with f5 or with knight e2, white have a winning advantage. Great line. But after f5, I'm positionally completely winning because the a6 pawn was also great. Apart, I have the d5 pawn holding the a6 pawn, of course. And the black knights are going to be so bad. If maybe this knight was on f6 or something like that, would be not so bad, but that these both black knights are so bad placed. And let's see how I lost that incredible position because I still without understand that I lost. A4 here, I play bishop d4 with position I go trading this bishop, but a4 was better because black cannot answer with a5 because I have queen b3 and eating this knight. So he should avoid moves like a5. So Like, if I play a5, I'm winning because the knight on c8 is dead. And if he cannot play a5 because I have queen b3, so a4 is winning here. Okay, the bishop d4, I still having a huge advantage, of course. He trade everything and I'm still winning. And here I chose an incorrect turn. I play a4, who is not bad. That was better, for example, before. Before looks so normal. I'm fucking these both knights. Um, and king h1 was so useful because black in some line is trading queens with queen c5 or queen b6. And I want to keep queens, of course, because the black king is so unsafe. And the another logical move was rook h3, of course, trying to attack the black king. But okay, a4 was not bad. The problem with a4 is that I calculate that after 95 I have a5, but I miss knight b3. This is why I play a4 is not. I doesn't like a4. I was thinking about that, but the machine doesn't like so much. A4, knight c5, and here again. I play rook a3, which is not the worst, but for example, I have rook h3. Um, for example, if knight take. No, sorry, he have knight take. Sorry. Okay, queen e3, rook a3 was best. Sorry, a5, and here. That's my huge mistake in the game. I opened the queen side. That's incredible. Let's explain how before was a huge mistake. Okay, black have four pieces in the queen side. The queen is on the 8 but it's not only on the 8, it's attacking a5. The queen is completely in the queen side. The both knights are in the queen side. The a rook are in the queen side. Why I open the queen side? I don't fucking know. That's so stupid. I should play in the other side that my opponent have the pieces. For example, h4, rook f6 defending, h5, rook c8, normal move, rook h3. And now the plan is simple. Simply move this knight to d1 or to b5 and gain with the other rook to attack. And then I'm going to play with all my pieces in the king side and the both black knights are on the queen side, so I'm going to checkmate my opponent because I play in the king side and my opponent have the pieces and I open the king side when my opponent have the pieces on the king side, on the queen side, sorry. So he cannot defend the king side. But if I open in the side that my opponent have all her pieces, I'm going to lose. It's stupid before here. Completely stupid. Like stupid. I'm winning. Maybe 5, rook h3, checkmate. No more. The c8 rook doesn't defend, the b6 knight doesn't defend. The c5, not, the black pieces cannot defend the king side. But no, I play b4. Oh my god, b4. Wow, oh my god. Stupid move. Now the position is equal. Well, before because I open her rook. The a8 rook, what is doing? Nothing. And now it's open. Now it's coming to a5. This both knight is attacking a4. Now the knight can land to e4 because I cannot take here because 95 I miss this tactic too, queen d4. Now rook e5 and now all his pieces are making something. And I didn't make nothing with before a4, I doesn't mean nothing. Bishop b5, queen c7. Here again I take the advantage of the position after rook f1 here. And here I miss knight f6 tactic. I was of course. I will reach this position and here I play rook a1. Why didn't play queen b6? Simple. I saw rook b5. Because here I saw pawn takes and his rook is open. And with queen takes, both are the same. Pawn takes and he opened his rook and he activated his pieces. But was so simple like play intermezzo move. Knight f6, rook f6, and pawn takes. And I'm completely winning because the f rook was so bad place. And now I'm going to take on b7, play queen c6, I'm winning. And my idea with rook e1 was after knight b3, take on b6. And what I want to do was rook b5, of course, queen takes. I still missing the knight f6 tactical. So again, knight f6 was good, but okay, my plan was queen b5, take, king f2, rook f4, king e3, and here I'm winning. That's my idea playing rook a1 here. What's the problem that I miss? No, I miss queen b2, but he can play rook a4 too. It was also interesting. After rook here, we have queen one, and here I think that take here was so interesting for that. But I missed the move queen b2. I missed that. I completely missed that. And apart, I have good time in the club, and here I spend the majority of my time thinking about rook f1, which is so logical. Because he had rook a4 too. But here I was planning to make 95, rook b4. Rook b4 is a mistake. Rook e4 is well done, but rook b4 not. But okay, what's the move that I should calculate? Because he's attacking a piece. But here I have that line that apart I can keep queens, of course. And white is fine here. But rook b5, and again, of course, again, I have knight f6. The mezzo, a normal move. Not allowing her rook to activate. But again, I missed the move. And I was thinking about queen takes, but now this pawn is hanging. And I cannot play king f2, king f3 because the rook f1 is hanging, so I should play g3. And I was looking for that lines. Okay, finally it's a draw. But I was thinking that it takes b5 was not so horrible, but here my position was hopeless. Queen e3 was the best move to try to hold, but I played 3 so fast. And the problem is that after queen d2 I'm completely losing because black is apart is attacking on d5, but e3, 2, e1 is coming, the f1 pawn is hanging, so I completely lost the game in two fucking moves here. A takes b5 was knight f6, I'm fine. And with a takes b5, I'm close to be losing. Knight 3 is the losing move, but it's because my position now was so difficult. Um, in general, okay, let's saw how the game ends, but great takes. Yes, that's how I lost. In my opinion, the game has two important points. One was that, okay, maybe I want to say that, but okay, a4 was not so bad, but here was the first important point. The position was us to play in the king side, of course. That's no, that's so logical play for h5, rook h3, and it's logical that I win. But I want it all. I want to have advantage in the king side. I want to have advantage in the queen side. I want everything, and I cannot have everything. I just should attack on the king side, check my opponent, and no more. I doesn't need advantage in all the sides, and that's the first huge position mistake before. My god. Okay, that's the positional mistake, and here this was the cute static mistake. First didn't see knight f6 here, and then didn't see knight f6 again here, of course. Cute mistake. And here I should try to make the draw in the rook endgame, not keeping queens over the board. But okay, that's a huge loss because I having if I won this game I could have 4.5 with a good position. But lost this game with that position with white was a huge loss. But okay, now the tournaments continue, so let's see how continue. Bye bye.